Courageous Doctors is a newscast about healthcare topics of concern to everyone. From health and safety tips, to recall notices and medical news. Here's your host, Dr. Barry Prystowsky.
Good evening again, and welcome to Courageous Doctors, the news show for you and your doctor. As always, we'll cover updates on COVID, government regulations, interesting other healthcare news, and end with health and safety tips. So let's begin now. The deaths, as you know, have been pretty steady, even though now we're seeing the numbers in Jersey and the rest of the country, but especially Jersey. The numbers in the hospitals have fallen below 500. We're still steady. We still get, if you read the Star Ledger, you're still getting, between 5 and 10 people dying, and it's been that way for the last 2 years. Of course, it's not the scare of the million people that died initially over the 2 years in the epidemic, but the death rate's been steady. So for a number of us in the healthcare profession, we're still wearing our masks. I know the mask mandate's been dropped by most governments, most states and all, but I'll be honest with you, I'm still being careful because until people stop dropping dead from this thing, they're the same number. Maybe not as many are in the hospital, but the caseload of these variants are still very high, even though Jersey Public Health says we're at a low-risk state now, and thank the Lord for that. If any of you get sick easily, like myself, I'm a pediatrician, I'm with kids all day, don't be afraid to keep that mask on. Okay, let's see. Reuters says that the governor's public health emergency was extended 3 months. Actually, the president's public health emergency was extended 3 months. It was supposed to end April 16th, and that's because, as I just said, that backs up my point that these variants are still high. I know that the courts have disagreed with the CDC's ruling. People have gone to court, states have gone to court. The CDC said, please keep your masks on a little longer, especially in areas of transportation or schools or what have you, high-risk areas, and the court voted it down. So again, it's vote your own conscience, but the fact that the public health emergency by the president was extended, that tells me that he's still concerned. The New York Times says that this is an interesting thing. We're all getting boosted. We've been giving 12 plus, 12 and older boosters, and of course now 5 to 11, and we've been doing that since it first came out in almost a year ago. But this said, and I did not know this, that it's only 20% effective for preventing against getting sick. Of course, it's still very protective against, getting severely ill and dying, or getting that MISC, the terrible thing with kids. But we're still not sure about that. We're still not sure what causes MISC. So we're hoping that, if you get COVID, even if you've been boosted, that's what they're saying, you still have an 80% chance of getting the vaccine, getting the virus, if you're 12 and older. But at least you're not going to be terribly ill from the virus. But of course, the month or two later, that inflammatory cascade, which we call multi-inflammatory syndrome, that puts the kids in the ICU. It clots up their vessels all over their body. We don't really know what caused that. But that was interesting, the fact that you can still get sick even after getting the booster. So, and we've been seeing that, right? How many celebrities, including our own government officials, they were all double boosted. I haven't even got my second booster yet. They were double boosted, and they're still coming down with COVID. They're just not in the hospital and not dying. But anyway, I think it's still better to get those boosters. All right, let's see. Last thing, Helio says that persistent cognitive symptoms are going on even with mild infections. And I thought that was interesting. In other words, you can have a mild COVID, but your head just never comes back. Somebody like me, I get chronic sinus infections. Anything goes to my head. So I'm exposed to COVID all the time. And, you just never have a clear head. And it really is aggravating. It's frustrating. Now, this was interesting. They said that when they spinal tapped people who had, cloudy heads and just weren't thinking right and all from the COVID, that they found vascular endothelial growth factor, one of the chemicals that makes blood vessels grow and tissues grow. They found it in the spinal cord was elevated, so they thought that was a marker somehow due to this virus. All right, let's move on to Obamacare and other government updates. According to Forbes, the Affordable Care Act, the premiums have been dropping 1.8%. All you people who have trouble getting insurance, the subsidies are there, the premiums are dropping. Go for it. Try to get on Obamacare. The Modern Healthcare says that Georgia is suing the Centers for Medicare for Medicare and Medicaid for blocking that work requirement. Remember that the Center for Medicare said it blocked the fact that the states are Georgia and other states are saying that you can't get Medicaid. I think it's more for Medicaid. You can't get Medicaid unless you're working, and the government blocked that, and so Georgia's suing them. And but the Supreme Court, it says it's refusing to hear the case from the state. So it looks like we've temporarily gotten rid of that work requirement for Medicaid, which is kind of crazy. I mean, if you're on, if you're disabled and all, how can you work? But who am I to say? And but New Hampshire and Arkansas are also challenging, and not just Georgia. So we'll see what happens. Star Ledger says the Judiciary Committee, Senator Grassley's committee, is investigating what happened with their New Jersey nursing home. Remember that a year or so ago over at the Woodland Behavioral Nursing Center? And in fact, the Department of Health has shut down admissions there. I'm not really sure what's going on there now, but Grassley in the Senate is calling for a national investigation in Jersey into the nursing home. So I don't really know what's going on there. Modern Healthcare, there was, this is interesting. There's 16 million on Medicaid, but here's the thing. Remember I just mentioned that the president extended the public health emergency from April 16th for another 3 months. Apparently, and I'm not sure I fully understand this, when the public health emergency is no longer there for the COVID, that 16 million might lose their, in Jersey, or I'm not sure if it's the whole country, I think, on Medicaid, that these people on Medicaid might get kicked off, that apparently they're only on it with the public health emergency. So I hope that can be worked out. And let's see, Reuters went on to say that Governor Murphy, that the states can continue the Medicaid, even if they lose it from a federal standpoint because of they were put on it from the public health emergency. The states can continue. So I think in Jersey we're safe because Governor Murphy's in favor of all that. Let's see. Fox says the Consumer Protection Financial Bureau finds, this is interesting, 58% of all debt in collection is due to unpaid medical bills. How scary is that? Unpaid medical bills, more than half of your debt. And I actually watch these C-SPAN things. I watch a lot of C-SPAN. I watched the congressional hearings on this, and I heard testimony on this. They really are trying to remove medical debt from your credit reports so that you can go on living and, getting money you need for other things. And, that's why my dad, and Jersey's the only one that has this, started the Catastrophic Illness and Relief Fund back in the 80s and 90s. Dad started that in Jersey. No other state has it. He did it at that time with Governor Tom Kean and Senator Orecchio, a very powerful state senator. And they worked it out that it's in perpetuity. It constantly goes on. It's always funded. And nobody with a catastrophic illness has to go bankrupt, that they can go to this state fund. I've used it for my patients many times, very sick patients. And Dad started it, my dad and Prystowsky. And that's the whole point. You shouldn't have to go bankrupt because you have, a horrible illness, and you shouldn't in these horrible financial times. Now we're facing a possible recession with inflation and all. So you don't want to go bankrupt because you can't borrow money. It's hard enough to borrow money anyway. You can't borrow money because you have all this medical debt. So I hope that the Consumer Protection Agency Financial Bureau can remove that from the credit reports. Let's go on. New York Times, the House passed a bill capping insulin cost at $35 per month. I hope the president signs that. I hope that becomes law. Star Ledger, the governor's state budget, as you know, it's ongoing. He set aside $33 million for maternal infant health and $15 million for maternal care, and we sure need that. And of course, there's already a law in Jersey for nursing home visits. I think they want to extend it to a year. So after you deliver, you have nurses come to your home for a year. All that stuff helps. Basic, good old common sense, preventive health. And the mortality rate, which is skewed toward the poor and the, there may be racial bias there too. We're all working very hard in the medical community and the medical society. All the academies of medicine are all working to really get maternal death rates down, better health care for mommies and babies, and especially for those who are disadvantaged for whatever reason that they have a higher maternal complication. So it's something well needed. I'm glad the governor's moving there. Let's see. Star Ledger, the governor, is going to use the COVID relief funds to build more affordable housing. And other people are saying should probably increase school food and school supplies as well. I just heard it's interesting. I think she was the head of one of the teachers' unions, I think nationally. She said it's a shame that, the teachers have to use their own money to get kids supplies. So not only does the school need to give kids food so they can eat and learn, but it's a shame the teachers shouldn't have to be buying supplies. So if the COVID money can go to that, God bless them. Let's see. Washington Post. Oh, this is important. The Environmental Protection Agency is going to put another ban on asbestos. And lastly, Star Ledger said that Hackensack River is now part of the Superfund cleanup. Can you believe it? It's got chromium and mercury, so I'm glad they got there. One last thing. Sorry. Star Ledger. Oh, yeah, very important. It's coming up May 4th. I'm taping this on May 3rd. May 4th is the plastic bag and paper bag ban for large grocery stores and for styrofoam cups. And I think straws and hard plastics are still okay. Now, this is the interesting thing. There are exceptions. Obviously, if you're going to get some raw meat or deli meat, you got to wrap it in something, right? And if you're going to pick up loose items, if you go to a pet store and you're carrying out, live animals or insects, whatever you have to feed, and medications at pharmacies, of course, the dry cleaner, that puts the bag over your clothes, and newspaper. So there's some exceptions, but I don't know about you guys. I already put in my car my reusable bags that I had, so I'm all set for it. So make sure you get ready for that.
Don't go away, there's more courageous doctors after these messages.
Hi, I'm Ingrid Burke.
And I'm Gina Unger.
Gina has known Dr. Berry in a professional and personal capacity for many years, and we are thrilled to be in his building. We are psychotherapists, and we offer mental health counseling for ages 12 and up. We do individual, couples, and family counseling. We're also excited to say that we have groups that we have for teenage boys and girls for social skills, anger management, and self-esteem building. If you need to reach us,
check us out at lifeworksnj.com.
Our phone numbers are also listed on that website if you'd like to contact us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Waxed In is a full-body unisex studio. We specialize in hard wax, which is gentler on the skin. We do all types of waxing from head to toe. You can come in with your friends, so you have the moral support. We have hors d'oeuvres. You do have to have a minimum of 8 people for that party, and you would schedule that. Everybody's looking for a hand to hold and then someone to share the experience with, so you can look that up on our website. We have prenatal waxing. We take a little bit more time with the new moms, and a lot of people will schedule that once they hit their second trimester. We do have a waxing membership. It's set up just like a gym membership, and you come in just like you would go to the gym. It comes out automatically, and you just show up for your wax. We have several memberships offer different services. We also have wax packages. The phone number is 973-542-8442. The website is www.thewaxden.com. We have 24-hour online booking.
Come to the Wax Den. We wax it all.
Courageous Doctors continues with Dr. Barry Prystowsky.
Okay, we'll move on now to other healthcare news. As always, I start with recalls, and there was quite a few recalls that came on that I'll get to you on the next show that we just came on in the last couple of days, so they didn't make it into this show, but there's always plenty of recalls. As always, remember, I have a disclaimer. My recalls, my shows are taped late, so some of these items may have been cleared. So all I'm saying is just please check with your store and see if your favorite items have already been replaced, and or just check that what you have is now safe. So the first, this actually came right on Easter. Kinder chocolates had salmonella, and those chocolates were all removed. That actually happened Easter. See, I'm a little late in taping. Alpine Fresh Company, green beans had listeria, also goes under the names Hippie Organics Fresh Beans, and they're in Whole Foods, Aldi, and Lidl stores, and the lot number is 313626. That's 313626. I believe those have all been recalled. So green beans had listeria and chocolate had salmonella. Let's see. Oh, here's another listeria. Fresh cut fruit and vegetables and ready-to-eat dips. And these were from Wegmans, Fresh Harvest, Lexington Co-op, and Tops. So just, again, be careful. They may have all been removed, but I'm always scared to buy anything fresh cut that's packaged because I just can't keep up with all the recalls. Let's see, New Jersey State Department of Health. Oh, remember this one? Again, this was a couple weeks ago. The Guida milk, Guida, Guida milk. All those kids got sick in the school. It was all over the news, New Jersey News 12, and they were taken to the hospital because sanitizer got into the milk. And around the same time, they said Skippy peanut butter. Some of the brands had stainless steel in there. So again, just check and be careful. Star Ledger, the FDA is putting a stop to pork being fed the antibiotic Carbadox because it can cause cancer. You know, you feed the animals antibiotics to keep them healthy. Apparently, Carbadox antibiotic, it's commonly used for pets, and it causes cancer, according to the FDA. Fox says that Philips company, you know, their breathing machines, ventilators, CPAPs, and BiPAPs, there's a call that some of them had foam that loosened up and was inhaled. So, again, be careful if you have one of these machines. And lastly, Pfizer said that their blood pressure drug, Acuredic and Quinapril and hydrochlorothiazide has high cancer-causing levels of nitrosamines. So again, be careful. Check with your pharmacist. All right, let's move on. Fox says that the CDC is reporting that the adenovirus 41 was causing hepatitis not only in England but in, I think, Alabama and other states here in the country. Adenovirus is a bad flu. You know, we get all kind of flus. Right now we got 4 or 5 flus going on. Influenza, enterovirus, you know, like the Coxsackie. We've got the COVID, that's a flu. And adenovirus is just another flu. It can cause a bad pneumonia. It can cause a lot of stuff, but now we're finding it can cause hepatitis and even liver failure. So we're all supposed to be on the lookout. So, you know, if your child has a flu-like symptom and the eyes turn yellow and the urine is dark and they're vomiting with abdominal pain, just call your pediatrician. You know, we want to pick these liver failures up before they happen. Helio says the CDC, you know, the flu shot, the dominant strain this year, I believe last year also was H3N2. Those are markers for the flu virus. And as usual, we have a lot of trouble covering this. It changes. It changes just like COVID. Just like COVID's always changing, it changes. And so the shot was only 16% effective at stopping moderate cases. But of course, it's still good. Just like the COVID shot, still good to keep us out of the hospital. But remember I said it was only 20% effective for keeping you from actually getting sick. Well, that was the same thing with the flu shot. We all got the flu shot. It was only 16% effective in stopping us from getting sick, but it kept us from not getting that sick. So they still get the shot. Let's see. Fox says that this is scary, you guys. The Lone Star tick is here. That's a tick with a little white star on its back, so it looks like a Texas Lone Star. That's the tick that if you get bit, it makes you allergic to a sugar called alpha galactose, and that's the same sugar that's in meats. So that later, if you try to eat meat, maybe 3 to 8 hours later or something, you can actually stop breathing. So if you're bit by that tick, tell your doctor you want to make sure you're not allergic to meat. Star Ledger, this is also scary. 28 million chickens were killed to prevent bird flu, and it's all over the country, you guys. And there's even a warning by the government, keep your chickens indoors, no more free-range chicken outdoors. Bird flu's here, you guys. It's in America, and we got to kill the chickens. I heard one guy actually got bird flu, but I'm not sure of the follow-up. I forget the news show I heard it on now. I'm sorry. This is all late-breaking news, and so I'm hoping that doesn't spread because we certainly don't have a vaccine for that yet. Let's see. CNN says that Ebola is back in the Congo, but they are vaccinating it. See, we have a vaccine now for Ebola. God forbid that comes over to the country, we'll all get vaccinated. But I don't think we got the vaccine for bird flu. And let's hope that, it doesn't spread from the chickens. Modern healthcare, the FDA says we're still in short supply on important hospital things like the IVs with sodium chloride, the saline IVs. We need to start making that stuff ourselves, people. Let's get real. I've been listening to a lot of C-SPAN, a lot of government congressional hearings. I was on the pharmacy committee for over 30 years in my hospital. I've tried to put regulation in myself. We got to make this stuff here, you guys. We just got to make our own hospital supplies in America. Okay. One last one, Health Day. The CDC wants everyone over the age of 19 to get Hep B vaccine. Of course, we automatically give it to all the babies, so presumably that'll happen. The rest of us should catch up. Okay, let's move on to the last category, health and safety tips. And won't be too long. We're almost done. Star Ledger. Oh, this is no good, you guys. And I can tell you this personally. I've been watching all my patients. They're all having this is spring, but nobody's breathing well. A lot of sinus infections. It's more than just tree allergy. New Jersey air is so horrible. And the Star Ledger came out and said we scored low again in the country on ozone, slightly better on particulate matter. You guys, we got to do something about our air. Jersey's one of the worst in the country, and I can tell you, just walk in my office. Nobody's breathing well. The coughs don't go away. They're lasting for a month. I'm using all kind of medicines, sending them all to allergists. It's a lot of it's Jersey air, you guys. It's not just COVID. Let's see. This is scary. Fox said that Jergens lotion has pluralibacter, has contamination. So again, remember, disclaimer, just like with the news part before. See if your Jergens is already pulled. Just make sure it's safe. That's all. Remember, I'm reporting this late. And something called Rest2Go packs have those chemicals in them, the PFAS, the polyfluoro alkaline stuff, the same stuff that's in our drinking water. So you want to be careful. You're carrying those packs around that you don't contaminate your food in them. CNN says that the Disney hand sanitizer was also pulled by the FDA because it has benzene and methanol in it. Disney hand sanitizer, I think that's Mickey Mouse and Baby Yoda. An Independent said University of Amsterdam in their research found plastics that's already in our blood. So they've been drawing our blood and finding plastics. So remember the plastic ban's going on tomorrow, May 4th. So maybe we'll keep it out of our blood. Let's see, CNN, an environmental working group. Every year I report on this, you guys. It usually comes out before the summer. It ranks the amount of pesticides in our fruits and vegetables. Again, the highest is my favorite, strawberry. I eat them every day. I'm just addicted to strawberries, but I know it's got pesticides. What are you going to do? There were about 12 that were high: strawberry, spinach, kale, collards, mustard, nectarines, apples, grapes, bell and hot peppers, cherries, peaches, pears, celery, tomatoes. Forget about it. That's your garden salad and your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you want to, on the best side, if you want a little pickup so I don't totally depress you, very low levels of pesticides in avocados, sweet corn, pineapples, onions, papaya. And the one warning by the working group was don't try to wash your fruits and vegetables with soap or detergent. It sticks to them, and that poisons you too. All right, let's see. USA Today said try to decrease the dust mites in your house by allergy-proofing your bed covers, removing items that collect dust. I always tell people, like it's common for kids, you got all their stuffed toys on the floor, newspapers, books. Try to get them out of the bedroom. And usually the babies and the children, because they, they wet their beds, they usually have plastic over them anyway. But you can always buy that cover. The dust might hide in the spring in the mattress. And, try to have light drapes and things. They said keep the humidifier low. You don't want to grow mold. Well, listen, use common sense. If you got water dripping from the ceiling with your humidifier, it's too high. And filter your AC. We all do that. All right, let's see. A couple more things. This is interesting. A nutritionist, Carrie Ann Jennings, I forgot to put the newspaper she writes for. I apologize, but I'm sure you can look her up. She was reporting on the Institute of Medicine review that women should drink at least 11 cups of water a day and men 15. That was interesting. I didn't realize it was that much. I guess the 8 ounces a day is no longer good enough. And the FDA says to limit your caffeine to 300 milligrams a day or 3 cups of coffee. Pretty much that I knew. Let's see, a couple more fun things. Healthy eating alone. Healthy eating home. That was a slip, sorry. Healthy Eating Home. The nutritionist Dana Angelo White from Healthy Eating Home said, here's some low sugar cereals and see if your favorites are on here. Cashigo, Cheerios, Barber's Organic Brown Rice Krispie, Corn Chex, Nature's Path Flax and Multi-Brand, Forager Project Organic Grain Free O's. So hope one of yours is on there. And FoodNet says that parsley is rich in vitamin and minerals. We all love parsley. Health Insider says pistachios are very good. You can eat as much as 49 nuts, and it's only 159 calories. That's incredible. I usually limit to like 18 nuts. I didn't realize you can eat that many nuts if it's pistachios. It has 6 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber, has calcium and magnesium. Yeah, pistachios are good. Medical Press said that prunes are very good. They help protect your bone health and have other anti-inflammatories. Eat 6 to 12 a day. I have my prunes every day. And I'll end with this one. I thought this was interesting. All of us are always interested in protein. Eating well listed the protein in some of our foods, and I'll just go through some of them quickly. Greek yogurt, only a half a cup, gives you 11 grams of protein. Get a load of this. Eggs have 6 grams of protein. 1 egg, 6 grams of protein. I usually eat at least 4 a day. 2 tablespoons of nut butter has 8 grams of protein. I love nut butter. 8 grams of protein. That's awesome. I didn't realize it had that much protein. Chia seeds have 10 grams of proteins. Outstanding. Look at this. A third of a cup of cottage cheese has 9 grams of protein. You guys, I had no idea it was that much protein. Half a cup of lentils has 9 grams. 2 slices of whole grain bread has 11 grams of protein. No way. No way. I did not know that. 1 cup of whole grain pasta has 9 grams. A half a cup of edamame has 9 grams. 3 ounces of tofu has 9 grams. A quarter of a can of your tuna fish has 10 grams of protein. Yeah, I eat the whole can. A tablespoon of yeast has 8 grams. So interesting stuff, you guys. As always, I always enjoy talking to you. I look forward to seeing you again in the next month or two, hopefully one day back on camera. And I look forward to your remarks. And as always, when I get them, I put them on my next show. So thanks again. Happy Pre-Mommy's Day coming up and Daddy's Day. If I don't see you before that, you all enjoy, stay well, and be healthy.
Courageous Doctors, Pioneers and Heroes. Executive producers Barry S. Prystowsky, MD. And Patrick M. Marucki. Post-production Patrick M. Marucki, makeup by Lisa McAllister, salon Jimmy Gerards. Music provided by VideoBlocks. Special thanks to American Medical Association and New England Journal of Medicine. Visit us on the internet at courageousdoctors.com.